Good evening. Welcome to Crypto CJ's Trade of the Day. Today it's Monday night. It's time for the panel, Monday Night Zoom. So I've got Connie here and many new people. So very exciting to get this going. This is our third episode, and we'll go right to the charts. Let's check out Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been bouncing around between. Let's look at the hour chart. So the high is here, 49 and like 49.5. Some exchanges it did hit 50, but got swatted down right away. And then we had this big drop last night, about 7 p.m. my time here in the Mountain States. I did really well from this. I got 3 trades in late last night that did really well. So I love these dips. Of course, the 4 positions I had open at the time didn't do so well, but the new ones did. So ladder buying helped as well. So this is the range we're seeing lately, between about 49 and 45, a little tighter. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. It's been this. This is what it's been like today, between about 48.5 and right around here, 47 and change. It's been in that range. But we just had another movement a little while ago. So Bitcoin went down from, say, about 48.7 at 1:25 p.m. to here. 4 hours later, 3.6%. Not a huge amount for Bitcoin, but it does move the altcoins, 2 to 3x that. So I saw some 10% drops, and a couple of my alerts went off. We'll talk about those a little bit later. So that's where Bitcoin is now. It's dropped. It is working its way back up on the 5-minute chart. So we may want to get into some positions. Bitcoin should not be a problem unless it drops even more. So with that in mind, let's go over to Altcoin Alert. And we're going to take a quick look at the Altcoin Alert AA scores. I looked at this before this meeting started. I'm interested in Sushi and Balancer, and Compound just popped in. That wasn't the case a few minutes ago, so we might look at that one as well. I also like to sort this based on the 1-hour projected range and also based on trading activity. So these are the 3 ways I look at, the 3 most common ways I look at Altcoin Alert. So let's look at Sushi real quick. I've got a couple charts up. I did trade Digibyte this morning based on an Altcoin Alert sort, and it got 6% in about 2 hours, so that's pretty good. We're gonna look at Sushi real quick. All right, so Sushi is sort of copying Bitcoin. It dropped to the bottom of the Bollinger Band here. These green lines here, the dark green lines are the Bollinger Bands. This is the top one, this is the bottom one. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, a red one forming, working its way up. But we also have these pinching here, so this is going into what I would call a squeeze. If you're interested in this trade, this is another thing we look for in a squeeze trade, that we have a MACD down here crossing, the blue lines crossing the orange. So that's something we like on a squeeze trade. And the potential profit on this is a little over 4% to the top of the Bollinger Band. Not bad. If you want some leverage, you can go to Sushi Up on Binance or Sushi Bull on FTX. Get 2x to 3x leverage on that. So I'm not a huge fan of squeeze trades. I've done them more in this bull market because it's harder and harder to find dip trades. But this is something to keep an eye on. If you want to take the chance on a squeeze, you could get in here and probably got some resistance right about here. These candles they seem to be trending towards the top of the Bollinger Band. That would probably be your exit on a pretty quick day trade. So any questions on Sushi before I move on?
Just what are you looking at that you're saying is squeeze? Like what things are squeezing?
Well, when you see the Bollinger Band starts to push together, the bottom one here and the top one here, yeah,
Okay.
that's pushing together as a squeeze.
Okay.
Like we see it bow out like this, where my cursor is. That's a,
Yeah.
you know, that's
They're
the
still
opposite.
pretty far apart, but I see that they're starting
Yeah,
to turn each
this right
other.
here is a better example of a
Yeah.
squeeze.
Okay. And this one may be more of a squeeze in another few minutes.
Right, because you can see the direction that the Bollinger Bands are
Okay.
going. So
Thank you. That's what I
okay,
was looking for.
good. All right, so Unibright, don't know that one. Balancer, let's check Balancer out. Connie, do you have any information on Balancer?
I don't, but I do want to interject that on a squeeze. Usually that's measured 2.5 or less, right? As far as the percentage to the between the Bollingers.
Yeah, let's do that one here. I'm a little rusty on that one, to be honest. Like that's at 2.6%. That's a better example of a squeeze. And we're here, we have the dip trade here is forming with the bubble. So when it goes out, we call it a bubble. So this right here is what we look, this is what I love, you know, this sequence right here. So I would have been in here, right about here, and probably would have looked for this resistance here and maybe got out right about here in less than an hour for 3%, you know, that kind of thing. So we're a little late on this one. This one went through a dip sequence, bounced off the SMA line, and started another dip sequence. We've got a dip here, another one here, and a third one here. So this would qualify as a 1, 2, 3 dip. And ideally you get in right in here where these the circle is. And you could go to the SMA line and get 3.91%. It's almost there already. We've got some resistance here. We're at like 5 candles lined up, you know, for 5.3%. And quite a bit of resistance right up here in this level here. If you want to hang on longer, you can go for 8%. So I think I'm a little late on this one, so I probably would not take this trade at this time. But Balancer was, go ahead.
The other thing, you're seeing a lot of red volume candles, and the bears seem to be coming in and pushing the price down.
All right, the volume candles right here.
Yeah.
Here. All right, any questions on Balancer before we move on? Okay. And then Compound was the other one we had on here, Comp. I remember trading this at like $100 or over the summer. Now it's crazy expensive. Yeah, well over 400. Let's look at the day chart on this one. This is something else we have to take into consideration. I've got some old Fibonacci retracement stuff here from back in September when I was looking at it and trading it when it was, you know, hovering around 100, 115. Now it's way up here. So we're in uncharted territory with this coin. On the 5 minutes, pretty similar to Balancer, where though it never does really go into a dip sequence. It never drops below the Bollinger Band here. So this is sort of what I would call a trend trade. Just try to follow the trend. I would want it to punch above this SMA line before I got in. If I was going to do that kind of trade, probably get in right here at 471 and maybe ride it up here to the top of the Bollinger Band to score a quick 4.3%. So that's what I see with that one. You could also hold on longer and just see if it goes back to the prior high of the day. I've had some success with this lately. That's over 8%. So again, if you can get 4 to 8% in a day trade, that's good stuff. We like that. You'll move your balance up pretty quickly doing that. Okay. Any questions on comp before we move on to some different sorts with Altcoin Alert? All right, let's look at the 1 hour projected range sort. I'm just going to click here. I think I had it right the first time. So You guys are in my way. All right. So here, I usually put stars by the coins I'm familiar with, and I'm not familiar with many of these at all. So I'm scrolling down. Theta Fuel I've traded before, but I've got a bearish AA score, so I'm not going to look at that. Metal is bullish, but now I've got a thumbs down and a poop, so I'm not interested in that either. RX, I'm having a hard time finding anything to look at using this sort. This happens sometimes. So here we go, ARPA. ARPA has fire under social activity, a thumbs up under trading activity. I'm looking for neutral or better under the AA score. And I like this, and I'm looking for 5% or better for this value here in the upper range. I still got a lower range higher than that, but I think this is worth a look. And I've traded ARPA a couple times lately and had some success with it. So let's check it out. And it's pretty similar to the compound chart we just looked at. I went through a dip sequence earlier, almost hit the SMA line and dropped again, though it didn't punch through the Bollinger Band. But again, if this one got through the SMA line, I'd probably try to track it and see if it could go to the top of the Bollinger Band for 4%. I could also look at this resistance here for 7%, maybe push it a little higher for 8%, but that's what I would look for this particular coin. All right, let's do one more sort. Any other questions on this? They're starting to look the same, so let's see if we can find something different. Let's go to the trading activity sort. Dash, okay. Dash has driven me nuts this year. I think I've traded it twice, once for a small profit, once for a loss. So sometimes I hold grudges against coins that cost me money, but let's check out Dash. We've got a fire under trading activity and social activity, and a neutral score under AA. Got upper value here, 5.72%. So I think it's worth giving it a look. Might be in my list. And for those of you new to TradingView, you can create your own lists here. I've got the two I use the most are my Fib retracements and then my ups and downs and bull and bear coins, the leverage tokens I talk about sometimes. So these are my two favorite lists, but you can create any list for anything. All right, on Dash, has had a crazy run lately. Yeah, parabolic shooting up here on the day chart. 5 minute. Looking kind of squeezy. Let's, not really though, 9% between the two. Okay, sometimes a high value will distort the charts and it's really not a squeeze. So this one has already bounced through the SMA line and it's shooting for the top Bollinger Band. Not much action there. We go to the prior, one of the intermediate highs of the day. We got a 4.9%, and then up here, about 7%. So this might be worth one considering. All right, let's check out let's look at one more in the trading activity sort. And Digibyte hasn't changed that much since I traded it this morning. Let's go ahead and look at that. I'll show you how I handled that one. Okay, I was in this at about 9 a.m. So I was looking at it right about here. And I went to the 1 hour chart and did a Fibonacci extender. Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that here, but it's an advanced. It's not that hard to use. I'm going to show it. We can do this. All right, so over here on your Fibonacci tools on TradingView, it's not as complicated as it sounds. You just click on this. It gives you a little menu here. This is what I want, the trend-based Fib extension. So I click, so I've got that now. I click it once here on what I think is the low. I'm looking at this range here on the 1 hour chart. One click here. This was 9 in the morning, so yeah, 10 o'clock, it wasn't that high yet. So this was the high at the time, this value at 6 o'clock. I click that down and then I drag it down here to the same level where I started. It doesn't matter where you go, left or right. It just needs to match, you know, where this one is here. So what I want is this 1.272, and that's what I'm going to use as a gauge for evaluating where I get out of this trade. So I'm going to look at my ruler, and at the time I was looking at this, it was around 0.0748. So that's right about here. So if I go all the way to the top of the 1.272, it's 14%. I usually try to go in between. And I think I looked at this value here. I dropped it just below the 0.8. I frequently do this. I set my exits slightly below round numbers. So I think everyone likes round numbers. So if I go a little bit below that, there's a better chance my sell order gets filled. So I was in there. I got in at right about here, and I saw some candles trending up, 3 in a row. They seem to be staying above the SMA line, so I like my chances on this. And I got out at about here for 6% a couple hours later, 11:05. So, and that was from an Altcoin Alert 1 hour projected score sort. So they do work. All right, any more questions on the Altcoin Alert sorts? I'm going to move on to the iCoinPro Buddy Coin Crawler to look for some more coins. All right. I've sent most of you by email. Is there a question? Okay. I've sent most of you by email a training from iCoinPro with their 1, 2, 3 dip. It's the most basic training and trade that we actually employ as day traders. It's a classic. It works a high percentage of the time. So that's why I like to send that, so you have at least some basic day trading experience. And this is one of the tools that comes with a membership. My goal isn't necessarily to try to sell you on iCoinPro. This is just one of the information sources I use. So this is my favorite one, the average low to SMA, the 24-hour low of a coin up to the SMA line. When we have a bunch of them in double digits, that means these coins have room to move. We'll look at a few of them. So I'm not going to look at the USDC pair. I'm only going to look at coins that have really good volume, like this one here, IOTA, $150 million volume. That's good. That's what I'm looking for. You can get a drop-down menu to TradingView. I'm going to click that, and it'll open a new chart on the 5-minute for IOTA. I'll take a quick look at the day chart. See if we're, yeah, it's spiking up just like all the other ones. So there's only a few coins out there that have not done that yet. Okay, so with IOTA, it's really shooting up. Not really seeing a trade here at all. I think we're just too late. Well, we do have some pretty good candle action here, then sideways. If I saw something, one or two of them breaking over the top of the Bollinger Band, I might be interested in throwing a fib retracement on it. Or I'm sorry, a fib extension, going to the 1 hour chart. And just doing like I did on the Digibyte. And maybe looking for an exit point here. So that's an option with this kind of thing. I'm always worried when a coin moves up this much, this fast, that it's done and it's going to drop. So the downside of the bull market is sometimes I'm uneasy about trading at all-time highs. All right, let's.
CJ, a quick question for you on that.
Sure.
Hey, it looks to me like the real play on that one is if you go back to about, looks like a little after 5 o'clock, where you've got that SMA crossing your signal. Is that really where you should be playing this one?
Right around here.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be great. I mean, if we had a Bitcoin drop at about 3% in the from the mid afternoon until about 5:30. So there were some dip trade opportunities that were there, and I agree this would be a pretty good entry point here. I'd like to see a series.
Yeah, that was that dip right there, which means that, I mean, everything was kind of going nuts during that period. So, but ideally in this type of a trade, you're looking for that SMA crossing the signal as kind of your indication to jump into these things and get the greatest return on it, right?
That would be certainly one indicator I would consider.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. All right, let's get out of this one. And okay, I'm going to skip a few to some that I'm a little more familiar with. I've traded ENJ a few times in the past week. So let's look at that. And what Sean was talking about is this dip sequence here, around 5 o'clock, and that would be a nice place to get in. This one just dropped and then shot back up. It never really had a series of dips, just like 5 of them in a row, then dropped, then pumped up nicely, went sideways, dipped a little bit. Now it's working its way back up. Right now, Bitcoin's kind of pumping. It's gone past 48,000. It's like 48,250. So looks like a lot of these coins are following that. So we're probably too late to do much on this. I would view this as a little bit risky, trying to see if this punches through the top of the Bollinger Band and hits this this resistance here, but that could be a 4% play if you want to do that. So, all right, let's look at one more from the, from iCoinPro's Buddy Coin Crawler. This is VeChain or VET. I've traded this one off and on over the years. Well, months. Okay. Okay, by the 24-hour low, I should define this a little bit better. That sort I did, the 24-hour low would probably be about here. It's the, I don't know, today's the 15th. So yeah, it'd be about from about here to the SMA line, which is this pink line here. So these are the coins that are moving that have 10-20% difference between the low and the SMA line. So that's why we like these. All right, 5-minute on VET. Again, big crashing dip here, pretty good recovery, dipping again, recovering again. And then the Bollinger Bands are starting to push together here. So it's not a squeeze yet. Yeah, still got 8% between, but it could be. And this one, You could push it to this. Resistance wouldn't be unreasonable. 6%. Up a little higher for today's high would be 8.78%. It's a bit risky to count on that. I like the middle. I usually go for the middle resistances, not the first one, the second or third. I like those. That's what I do pretty consistently. I did when Bitcoin dropped. Actually, I can look at. I did do a couple up coins. I had alerts go off on dot up and link up, and I'll just show these real quickly. Okay, in a 5-minute chart here, my alert went off. Actually, it was this one right here. I'll circle that. This is something just about anyone can do, is set alerts on the RSI, and it'll let you know when dip trades are happening. So I waited for a green candle. I got in, and then of course it went down again. But I'm up on this trade. You know, I'm up almost 9% in an hour. So I like that. I'm pushing for this resistance here for 117. That'll probably give me about 13% on this trade. Let's hope it works. I have a very similar trade on link up. Same thing. This alert went off. I bought in, went down some more, but now it's working its way back up. I'm in profit on this one too. So these RSI alerts are really helpful to locate dip trades. I'll just show you how to set one.
Yeah, you've got it at 30?
Yes. And how you do it is you, on Trading View, I'm on a PC, you can just right click anywhere here, add alert. It'll often default to wherever the RSI is at the moment, and I just change it to 30. And then you just click create. You guys are in my way. Yeah. Click create and you're good to go. I've got, on my chart, I've got 30 is all that TradingView will give me for my plan. I probably should upgrade, but I think I have the $30 plan. The $15 plan, you get 10 alerts. And this one, you get 30. I've set the coins that mostly have up and down options, and the leverage tokens, and also the bull and bear on FTX. Those are the ones I concentrate on most for the 30 RSI. Then when I go through the sorts I just showed you, if I see something hot that I think I've missed, I'll set one for one of those coins as well. Like maybe Digibyte would be a better example. I could set. See, it didn't quite make it here. And sometimes I set it higher than 30. If a coin really seems hot to me, if I think it drops down to 40 and then it's not gonna, it's gonna bounce up from there, I might set one at 40. So, but it's real easy. Just right click here, add alert, then put it wherever you want. Like say, I think I want to know earlier than 30. I could put 35. So, and you can put a note down here, dip trade, ? And create. So that is how I do most of my trading. That sequence that I just showed you, the looking at the Altcoin Alert sorts, the iCoinPro sorts, and updating my RSI, alerts, it takes 1 to 2 hours every morning, and that's all I do. And then I don't, I check on my trades from time to time. I do set, alerts to warn me if they drop below 5 or 10%, depending on what on where I want to ladder buy. Ladder buy is a strategy that we use to save a trade. I've talked about it in other videos. Might talk about it in a later version of the Monday Night Zoom, but probably not right now. But So that's pretty much all I have as far as CJ's presentation. Connie, can you think of anything you want to add to
The
things I
one
talked
thing
about?
that I would suggest, I don't know how many are familiar with up, down, or bull or bear. They're a contra coin. You really are going where you're saying it's, do you want to define that a little bit more, CJ?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I probably went over that too fast. I always assume you guys have seen, 4 or 5 or 10 of my videos. It's probably presumptuous, but anyway, what we're talking about here is, I'll show an example of AAVE up. So this is a Binance token, and it represents 2 to 3x the movement of the underlying coin. So AAVE up would correspond to 2 to 3x of the coin going up. So on AAVE, where the coin goes up from here to the Bollinger Band, might be 0.92%. On AAVE up, it's probably going to be about double that. From here to here is, like 1.4, 1.8%, something like that. So it represents double the value, and it's a less risky way of using leverage. You can use leverage 5x, 10x, 100x, but then your position can be liquidated if it goes against you. With these tokens, they trade very almost identically to the spot trades you guys are used to doing. So it's just they move faster or on higher percentages in either direction. So when I see a dip, like a 30 RSI dip, 1, 2, 3 dip, things like that, then I'm very interested in using the up coins. And then the other exchange I like is FTX with they call theirs bull, bull coins and bear coins. So when the market goes negative, I mean, we're going to have a bear market someday. We just don't have it now. But when they do, I'll trade, more down coins and more bear coins. But for now, it's mostly the ups and the bulls. When the XRP news came out about the lawsuit, the SEC lawsuit, I immediately bought XRP down and had a really nice trade on that. So, bad news can move the market pretty significantly. But bad news when Bitcoin's pumping up, a lot of times the market will shrug that off. So, and there's still some risk involved even with news items. So, any more questions on up and down coins, bulls and bears? I will say it's something you should probably do after you're really comfortable in spot trading. I didn't do anything like this till I'd been spot trading for about 6 months. So,
Hey, CJ, this is James.
hello, James.
I've been trading stocks using your kind of technical analysis a long time. I would add candlestick analysis does great on this stuff.
It does.
And the other thing is I'm new to cryptocurrency trading, and I just wonder what is this is just a charting platform, or is it an investment platform? What are you using here? What do you recommend?
Well, what I'm talking about today is spot trading crypto. So, I mean, there are some similarities in stocks in the way we look at, charts.
I understand that, but I'm asking what kind of platform do you actually put your money into and do the actual trading? What platform are you using?
Okay.
Here?
I thought you were talking about information sources, but you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm new to
exchanges.
what
So
you're doing.
I use Binance International with a VPN because it does not allow Americans. So Binance has the most leverage or the most volume, and that's why I like it. Plus, it's what I learned on, so it's easiest for me.
That's an actual platform where you put money into.
Yes. Yeah, it's an exchange.
Okay.
It's like the Dow Jones of that's not the right term. The New York Stock Exchange of crypto. So, but it's somewhere in Asia. Do you know where it is, Connie? I don't even know.
Well, actually, we're incorporated is an island. They can't chase them. It's really interesting because CZ was on and he said he doesn't have a corporate office.
Okay.
Which I'm very surprised. He has 50 lead team members globally, but not a corporate office, as large as this exchange is. And they're powerful and they're very dynamic.
Wow. And James, a lot of people, you can get approved in the US on Coinbase Pro. That's another exchange that people use.
Okay.
James is a friend of mine that I just invited today, and we are at the level of Coinbase Pro and moving into, no, Coinbase first, and then moving into Coinbase Pro.
Okay.
So iPro would be a third step.
Well, iCoinPro is an information source. It's not an exchange. So it's like Altcoin Alert in that it provides information, and you can use that to locate trades. iCoinPro also has training on how to day trade. It's very conservative, which is why I like it so much for new people. So
The one thing I would add on Coinbase is where you have entry into getting them purchasing Bitcoin. Coinbase Pro is actually their trading platform, and it's cheaper to buy your Bitcoin on Coinbase Pro than it is. And you can now, they've changed it where once you bring in your money, you can instantly trade. They didn't used to have that. They used to have to wait a week, but now you can go instant trading. But that actually is their trading platform for Coinbase. So I would suggest I would jump over there right away, because if you were on Coinbase, it's 1.25 to buy Bitcoin. It's only 0.5 on Coinbase Pro.
Wow.
Yes, I
Thank
did.
you, Connie.
I did
Good stuff.
Coinbase Pro this afternoon, and that's the only place that allows you to do stop points, like a trailing stop loss. So
Okay,
we'll catch up on your videos, CJ.
okay. All right, so there we go. Coinbase Pro and Binance. There are dozens of exchanges. I've talked about FTX. That's another foreign exchange. You need to use a VPN. I kind of like that one because it has the 3x leverage coin or tokens. But again, that's more advanced probably after you guys get used to trading, doing the spot trading, which is what we call, just trading the coin and not having leverage involved. That's what we call that. That's spot trading. So, okay. So any other questions on, Altcoin Alert, iCoinPro, the RSI strategy, and I want to make sure we get the day trading stuff addressed first, and then we can branch out into broader subjects. So,
Hey, CJ, quick question for you on the volume of RSI indications that have popped up recently. I mean, when you first did that presentation about 2 weeks ago, I've seen all kinds of RSI indicators popping below 30, and now I'm seeing they're like few and far between. Are you seeing the same thing, or am I doing something wrong?
no, you're exactly right. It's the function of the bull market. If you have most of the coins trending up with Bitcoin, then there are going to be fewer dips to the point that trigger, they go all the way down to the 30 on the RSI. So what Sean's asking about is the level I was circling, this level here. This is sort of this indicates to most traders oversold, which means it's usually due to come back up. I mean, we're all dealing with probabilities here. You still have to do your analysis even after this goes off and look for some good candle action. But this is what we're looking for to get below 30, and that's, I had 4 alerts go off. I traded 2 of them, so I like it when it happens.
One thing I would add, since we are in a lot of price discovery, if you look at the most recent crossover in the MACD, that's another crossover. If you're not that low in your RSI, to look at your crossovers in your MACD and see how open your signal and your MACD lines are.
Right.
And especially when you pass through a histogram, that is really giving you strong signals of the market's favorable for profit.
Right. Here's what Connie's talking about. I've circled the MACD cross here. The blue line going above the orange line is an indication of a trend. Punching through the histogram, which is these green candles here, volume candles is a good sign of a trend as well. a conservative approach would be if they go above the histogram, then it's too late. You should stay away. But if you're trading the trend, then you view this as a positive. So there's sort of two schools of thought on that one. But I think in a bull market, this doesn't bother me. So
Right.
yeah. All right.
Just a hint on the crossovers that you were just looking at. If you look at the actual chart up there, there's some nice tails after on the bottom right there in the candlesticks, and then the big green upward. But then you can be a little more conservative and wait for that first pullback with that big red bar to the right there. And there's what we call a Forrest Gump rule. Anytime it breaks out a trend, it always come back and test the trend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looks like James, your stock chart analysis is going to help you in this.
I think so. I like this chart.
Yeah.
It's not as controlled as the stock market right now.
No. Well, we could talk crypto and stocks all day, but it'll be on the scope of my meeting if you don't mind. But yeah, but the candle training that Condi and I went through was, you could be applied to stocks or Forex or anything like that. So
Hey, CJ, this is Andy. I
Hey, Andy.
noticed on your Bollinger Band over here, you've got it set at 3 deviation, and then other times you have it set at 2 deviations.
Mhm.
I understand the difference is going to be the Bollinger Bands are going to be, wider apart, but why would we pick a 3 over a 2 or vice versa?
I have both. So this one's a 2, the darker one, and then this one's a 3. This is a sort of a shadow. It gives me just another another point that I can consider. Who likes this a lot, who showed it to me, is Justin Clark of iCoinPro, the co-founder. He uses this, and a lot of times he won't do a dip trade until he sees the candle drop to the third deviation. So
Okay.
that's
Was that more of a
very
relative
good.
strength on the trade then?
Yeah, I think so. I'm usually not that patient, but I should be.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, any other questions? I should look in the chat because I almost forgot last time.
Hey, CJ, this is Paul. I got a quick question.
Okay.
Is that moving average you have on your RSI? The 50-day, looks like?
Yeah, this here, or this one.
Yeah, the blue line. How did you set that? Because I was trying to set up a moving average on my RSI, but I couldn't figure it out.
I don't even use it, so I heard it somewhere that it was a good idea. But to answer your question, it's one of these settings or more. You see where my cursor is over to the left?
Yeah.
So I think if you click on one of these, you can do it. I'm afraid if I do it here, I'll mess up my chart, but because I really don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, or maybe you can just right click somewhere here and get settings. Yeah, that might be it too. Yeah, you got settings down here. It's probably in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Well, we are at about 45 minutes. That's probably a good time to wrap it up. The day trading portion. Should any of you guys want to stick around, just talk whatever, I'm going to hang around for that. So for now, I will stop the recording.